was deflationary. So we're going to be doing a burn buyback, just burn, but doing it live. That's the cool part. You don't have to keep and pacing it. You got to do it all live.
Wait, burn.
Is there a buyback too before the burn? Or?
Oh, yes. So we are buying it from the spot market and then burning it.
Well, hold on. Can you give me that contract real quick?
Yeah. So with that being said, we've got that part first. So Matt from Starship, for those that aren't aware, we're going to talk about Starship and the interesting collaboration with upLink as well. I almost gave away some big FOMO material, but we'll leave that when we come back. So as always, disclaimer first, and we'll see everybody in a bit. Today's a big day, celebration day. See you guys in a bit. All right, we're back.
We're back.
All right, I'm gonna hold myself back with the FOMO stuff. But for those that are part of Flourishing AI that don't know about Matt Starship, the community at Starship is amazing. Always extremely engaged, active, just like French Connection Finance. And the cool thing is that Starship, and I've said this over and over again, and I'll always say it over and over again, is that congrats that you guys actually launched a live play-to-earn game on blockchain.
Thank you.
NFTs, your native token, and all this awesome stuff. So, Matt, thanks for joining us here. I think this is the first time you're also with us for this show.
Yeah. You do the show every Friday, right?
Yes, sir. That's it.
Awesome.
And plenty more to come. So we do our show on Tuesdays, for those that aren't aware.
Yeah. As soon as I heard about this project, I was absolutely amazed. I think it's just what the ecosystem needs. You guys have a beautiful thing going on here, and congratulations. I'm glad that we're able to link arms with you.
Right back at you. As gaming people, we always look for
bring
quality.
Up with Matt specifically, because and we'll talk about upLink. But so Matt, you have this game, right? Which has a native token, but then also Kyanite, and then which is on Wax platform. Mm-hmm. But the biggest issue here is, again, people getting Starship tokens, right? I mean, like, how just because it's on BSC, that's always like the major issue that we see all the time within this space.
While we were doing our legal opinion, our attorney asked us, like, why do you want to list on an exchange, or why do you need this? And I wrote out all the steps it takes to purchase Starship token. And getting BNB, BEP20, there was probably 50 or 60 steps. Downloading MetaMask, creating a Binance Smart Chain, I forgot what they're called, node or the portion where you can upload BNB tokens. It's very complicated. So this is one of the steps we're taking to increase our visibility and our accessibility, making it easier to onboard people into the Starship ecosystem. So we're super grateful for Flourishing AI and upLink and their products. So,
well, imagine just going to upLink, and we're going to talk about this, but you literally just take your credit card and get Starship tokens.
Exactly.
Go. Imagine, again, people are going to deploy Starship. They want to play the game. Buy the tokens right then and there. They don't have to leave. You don't have to go to an exchange. It's all literally in front of their face.
There's literally $100,000 worth of buy orders just waiting. People who I can't get to, I don't have enough time. Every time I teach someone how to purchase, even if it's on Bitmart, you're talking about 3, 4, 5 hours, and I'm working, 7 days a week. So if I can point them in a direction, if the community can point them in a direction, That's going to be really beneficial. And I know that our contributors and our team is going to be grateful for that.
Definitely.
The thing that we noticed with a great gaming property like Deploy Starship is it's inherently viral by its very nature. Sheraton starts to play it, then he wants to sort of get me on it, then I want to get Will on it, and so on, right? So, and I have played it, by the way, it's great. So, so I can speak from experience. So here's the thing, right? With a great game like this, it creates its own viral loops. But not everybody is as crypto savvy as you guys are, right? You guys are crypto natives, but most of the people coming on to gaming aren't, right? And so this is a nice smooth uptick, gets them in, zero friction, grow, grow, grow. And that's really important for gaming. It's really important for Starship. It's really important for us. But the big picture here is it's really important for the community to get new crypto adopters in. Everything we're doing together is really, really focused on that, getting them sort of into the crypto ecosystem, get them gaming, get them earning, get them doing all these things, right? And then once they're here, our overall ecosystem grows, right? For the next game, the next project, the next everything, you know? So we're super excited to have you on board, Matt. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. So today we're also going to have, which I love, we're going to have an educational approach. So we put out so Flourishing, you guys put out the tweet saying that, again, AI is becoming deflationary, right? And you're going to be doing a burn and other stuff.
We are doing a live buying
brief explanation as to what that actually means, because, you know,
what is
just disappear? What's happening?
but what is your website, and how can people, purchase Flourishing AI?
You can simply buy it on fiat2 the number 2 AI.com. It's very easy.
Okay. Awesome. You guys got a short window here.
It's going down in minutes.
So let me explain this process a little bit as we get started. There's many different ways to burn supply, right? The most impactful way to do this is by burning part of your circulating supply. So that's supply that is on the open market that we don't own, right? So what we have to do is buy it back from sellers on that market and then burn it by sending it to the null address. So it's a two-step process. And this has the net effect of reducing not only the total market cap and total supply, but also the circulating supply.
Right.
Derived from that is price. So as you reduce circulating supply, you increase price because you've reduced supply, right?
Yep.
That is the exercise we're going through today, our very first burn. Eric, do you want to go a little bit over the economics of how we're doing, like the burn percentage and things like that? Or go ahead.
What money how did you get the money to buy it? Is it something you guys earned? Is it taken out of a token tax? How did that work?
Yeah, great question. We use a percentage of profits to basically buy back, and that's direct folks buying AI or buying BNB, or an overall share of profits coming from upLink operations, which is starting, small right now, but it's starting to really grow fast. And so we're just basically sharing back with the community part of the profits coming in from all of these activities in the form of a buyback.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's basically. So for anybody new, thanks for asking the question.
Starship.
What's that?
Riv. So Starship, you're still implementing, I think, Riv protocol, right? Something along those lines with the buybacks.
It'll be something similar, probably to Flourishing. We're just, working on the legal side of it. But, Binance gets away with the buyback and burn. There's a couple other tokens. You guys are doing it. So obviously, legally, this is probably the loophole.
Yep. Well, like we said, that's why we put everything with the disclaimers at the beginning.
Right.
There's many different ways to construct tokenomics, as we all know. We wanted to construct tokenomics in a way where people were rewarded for believing in our company, right? So that the performance of the token is somehow related to the success of the company, right? We wanted to kind of tie those together, and hence the idea of the buy and burn.
Yep. I actually just pulled up so yesterday, just because of just making the announcement, pulling up Binance. I mean, those are usually like big announcements. You see so many retweet shares, the community gets so excited, investors are excited. It's a big deal, to have the actual supply get lowered, diminished. That's something you want to see.
It gets attention.
I forgot all about this actually, but on our first pack sale, we did $600,000 in buybacks on Starship. The price went from like 13 cents all the way to $6, but we only purchased up to $2. The rest of it was just people seeing it on the charts, CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, and it just took a life of its own. So,
yeah,
that's a meteoric rise. Well done.
Yeah, it has a domino effect.
It does.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah, I remember that. So Starship, you guys, actually, when it went from,
we started at a penny, but we didn't start the buybacks until 13 cents. So,
yeah.
So, well, shall we get started?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. This is all on you, so no pressure on that.
So, just to clarify, because there's some questions in the community about how we were doing this, we have agreed to do 20% of all profits across everything to burn. So that's including not only Fate subscriptions, but also upLink for ourselves, as well as all partner integrations. So basically all the profits across everything. We're doing 20%, buying it and burning it. Okay?
Love it.
This first one, since we're just starting, is on the lower end. And I'll show you guys some projections of where we estimate things could go on the low, mid, and high end after we do the burn. Okay. So currently, so far, we're going to burn. We had a profit of $21.75. So we're going to burn.
Do you have a screen share or
today? Do what?
Do you have a screen for me to share or not yet?
Not yet. So I'm going to do this on my other screen because I don't have it connected on the laptop right now.
Okay.
But I'll do the burn on there, and then I'll present the projections. You know what? I can actually share the projections as I do it. And then Eric can talk through them as I do the burn. I think that'll work pretty well.
All right.
Dang. So 20% across the board as more projects get on, that's going to start adding up. I mean,
exactly. Yeah. And so there are some other things we'll talk about towards the end of the show that will actually start to feed that growth funnel as well. You can see kind of where we're going with this community, right? It becomes as the overall platform grows, we start to buy back AI as well. And there are some things we'll talk about that will allow you guys to earn in multiple ways and really sort of help us grow. So little teaser there. So we'll talk about that as well. And then we'll also talk about, I think to a significant extent, it's worth talking about one of the verticals that we are seeing really, really take to upLink. And that is, surprisingly enough, you guys have probably, not unsurprisingly enough, you guys have already guessed it since Matt is on, gaming, right? I mean, if you think about it, that ease of buying into crypto is really, really important for games because you're not dealing with somebody who's going to get on TradingView and do all of these things, but somebody who's really looking for an experience. And if your experience, as Matt mentioned before, is really difficult, guess what? You're going to lose a lot of people coming in the door. It doesn't make sense. So you have to streamline it as much as possible. So, and from a personal perspective, Will and I, again, we come from the gaming industry, right? So we we have a soft spot for games. We love games.
Some of that experience.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And look, a lot of the ease of use comes from that gamification. For example, if you go on a lot of portals, they'll just kind of walk you through the process of like buying Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever. And it's just this, some of them are better than others, right? But a lot of them are pretty cumbersome. But if you go look at, what upLink is doing for all of our live customers right now, you have this process where you have this little breadcrumb trail where it goes from step to step to step. That's classic sort of gaming type, setup, right? That sort of stuff is something where you're showing kind of a progress bar for those of you who are on, PlayStation or other PC games like Deploy Starship and other things like that, right? You're seeing progress bars, you're seeing experience bars. So our experience really sort of lent to uplink. And frankly, with folks like Matt on board, I mean, it's their feedback has been instrumental in making it ever much more simple and much more accessible. So we're pretty pumped about that. So I see a lot of screens coming in and out of Will's setup here. So let's see if he's just about set up or not.
Are you able to pull up his chart, Jason?
Well, I have the one screen. I'm just waiting for approval to put it up. That's it.
Okay.
With calculations.
Yeah. So hold on 1 second before you do that.
Don't forget, we're live. I'm always putting that, making sure, confirming everything is good to go.
All right. So yeah, show the screen.
Okay. So now
You'll
we're on
see
the
that-
blockchain.
Yeah, we have completed our first buy and burn today. Yay!
You literally
done.
just did it.
Nice work,
Okay.
guys.
Just did it.
Okay.
That was thrilling.
He says in a
not
monotone
the biggest
voice.
thing in the world, but it's important that this whole
It is
process
important.
was successful.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So we bought 77,537 AI at the spot market. Then
See that?
we burned it, the burn method here. And anybody can track this wallet and see.
Yeah, I actually just pulled it up on Dex Tool so they could see that from there as well if they wanted to.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep, you'll see it in Dex Tools as well.
Yep, and it's got a little bit of a bump. And the thing to keep in mind, folks, and as we start to build over time, when we start to get revenue in the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions through uplink, right? That's just going to skyrocket. So this is the first of many, and we'll just sporadically start to do this, right? So rather than large scale buybacks, we're going to have sort of periodic and frequent, frankly, buybacks, like every couple of days.
Now you talk about hundreds of thousands, millions, and I believe you because I actually got a little chance to look into your background, and I'd love for you to share that with our community. Building and selling successful business,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, certainly. So for those from Starship coming here, sorry, I'm jumbled from doing the buy and burn.
He's so excited.
Focus.
Yeah, so this is my fourth startup, and two of my prior startups were in the game industry, as well as two of them were in the billing industry. So one of my startups, was actually half billing, half game. It was like a casual game, social casual game at the time, as they were called, which had a billing platform built into it, and it was the first one. So, and Eric, same deal. I mean, you can speak to your experience as well. This, we are both serial entrepreneurs and experienced.
Your company literally got bought by PayPal. I mean,
Yeah.
Right.
like you guys are so like we have some experience.
That's all you had to say.
We've done a little bit,
Will and Eric, all you have to say is my company got bought by PayPal, and leave it at that.
Yeah.
So the PayPal
good times.
widget, when you use the PayPal widget, a lot of that code is actually from my company. That was my second startup.
I love it. So I'm super confident in you guys and what you're doing. I think our community could be also.
Yeah.
Well, from that though, that widget that you made, again, the issue that you saw at the time was that there's gamers, and well, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's people trying to play a game, and when they had to make payments, they left the game, right?
Right.
They left
That's
that,
the problem.
and then they had to go make their payment or whatever it was. But then I forgot I was playing a game or something else happened. But similar to what you guys have now with uplink and coincidentally NFTs gaming, you're putting all that within the game or on that page itself. So they're within the environment, that ecosystem, they're not leaving it. That's the most important part. You're keeping everybody in.
Exactly. That's incredibly important because it takes you out of the stream, right? Then it's kind of jarring, right? If you're playing a game and all of a sudden you have to be taken out of the stream and then you have to come back. You don't get people all the way back, right? You lose a good chunk. You lose sometimes more than 50%, right? I mean, that's how,
Yeah, I mean, these are the same problems that I solved with my second and first company. They come back again and again and again, right? We have the same problem all over again, but now it's with crypto. Back then, the problem with when I started Ruby Coins was that people would have these different types of bank cards, especially international bank cards and airline cards and things like that. And it was just very complex to pay for things online with them. So what I did was create this unified widget that you could enter any type of card and it would figure out how to do the transaction.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It could, and then it also supported like different languages, like all this types of stuff, right? Different currencies. It was a very complex product. So we have the same problem all over again, but now it's crypto.
That's actually,
We've come full circle.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, it's too complicated. I'm like, well, I've seen this before.
that's exactly what I've been telling people is everything that happened in like the internet bubble. It's just repeating itself. We can see these cycles happen in first, second, third world countries, where I can take a first world country setup and go to a third world country and say, okay, this is the next step. Right. And we're seeing that with games too. I mean, it's all click browser based. Yeah. Pretty soon, I'm sure we're going to see them in the app stores, and it's going to be 3D, and it's going to be a beautiful metaverse or an MMO, and so yeah, I can see that these patterns are repeating themselves.
And it's going to happen with Web3. It's going to happen with augmented reality. I mean, you can see the trajectory, right? I mean, it's pretty obvious. And yeah, it's funny. Will and I were talking the other day. Like the more things change, the more things stay the same, right? The same principles apply. Make it easy, make it streamlined, make it fun, right? It's got to be fun, right? It's got to be engaging, right? And so I personally feel like there is going to be a little bit of a shakeout in the space at some point, and truly high quality projects like yours, I think will thrive. So looking forward to that. Speaking
of quality, we'd love to pair our token with your token. I think that's a great move, especially if you're doing buybacks and burns. That's like us pairing with BNB. So we could do that on our centralized exchange.
So let's talk about that. I wasn't sure if you wanted to sort of talk about that yet, Matt, but okay, let's go there, right? I wasn't sure if you had announced it or not. Have you announced kind of the centralized exchange to the community yet, or?
There's a pre-registration. Some people are logging in.
Okay, so just to let our community know.
Yeah. It should launch soon, yeah.
Okay, just to let our community know, Matt and I have been talking about them starting a centralized exchange and really sort of as an offshoot of Deploy Starship and really sort of making it easy to trade, gaming specific tokens tied to Starship and all that. So I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't jumping the gun a little bit there, Matt, and make sure that you do want the word out in case you wanted
to. The goal of the centralized exchange for us is to build out Starship liquidity. We want Starship listed on as many places as possible. We need it visible and accessible to people. So, this is just one of the things we do. Our partner pairs, though, we're taking a percentage of the exchange revenue and, building out these centralized liquidity pools for every token that's paired with Starship. So that's the goal there. So, there may come a time where you're going to see us on video doing a buyback of Flourishing AI token, so.
That's awesome. Well, we'll certainly welcome that. Matt, how do people play the game? How do people get on the centralized exchange? I don't know if it's too early for that. And, do you have maybe a URL that you can share to buy Starship coming in the next few days?
So the centralized exchange, you can go check it out. Everything is deactivated. But you can check out the panel and everything. It's my.sexy.finance or just sexy.finance. And that's sexy with a C. So it's a play on words. Centralized exchange, sexy. Yeah, you get it.
I love it.
But,
what they can also do is the AI team actually, and this is a good point for it, Flourishing or the company could actually sign up there and get their own affiliate code, by the way. And then you could use that to then share with the community.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Build up a treasury pool for the project.
Exactly. So, for the game, it's play.deploystarship.com. You go there. There's a guide, steps, GDD. It's a lot of steps. Obviously, that's why we're working with Flourishing. But hopefully we can cut those down soon. Now, for purchasing Starship with credit and debit card, we made a domain name. What's the domain? It's fiat to starship.com, right?
Correct.
And it's number 2, or is it TWO? Is it spelled out?
Yeah, so it's fiat number 2 starship.com. So
Okay.
just like with ours, right? For everybody in the community, you guys are all well aware of this, right? We promoted fiat to AI. Well, now we've got fiat to Starship. You guys can see the pattern, of course, right? So so that's that. And I've gone ahead and posted it in the chat in YouTube. So for anybody looking at this right now, I've gone ahead and posted all of those links to the centralized exchange, to deploy Starship, and then also to buy the tokens. So you are all set there if you just kind of check out the chat below.
So the upLink integration is not up. It's not live yet, but it's coming soon. So
it's coming in the next few days. It'll
we
be
have a
up
lot
real
of
soon.
partners that we're integrating at the same time now. So we're trying to balance everybody out, right? Because all of the partner integrations, they're all like, get us up right now.
Yeah.
We're honored actually by all the excitement, truly.
Can you guys give me 1 second? I'll be right back. I'm sorry.
So I like the collaboration that we have here. So we've got Sexy Finance, which is going to be launching. So they're going to have their own exchange in which other projects similar to upLink are going to be signing up with. And then that's a direct correlation, right? So somebody goes to Sexy Finance, they want to get listed, they're there. Hey, by the way, do you want direct fiat to your project? Okay, boom, upLink. Somebody's signing up at upLink. Do you want to go to Sexy Finance? Similar with French Connection Finance. You got to keep it full circle, keep it coming back.
Exactly.
Keep growing.
Exactly. Grow the ecosystem, help each other out. That's what quality projects do. So
one thing, so you guys are mentioning or talking about the gaming aspect, and since you guys were from the gaming world, what I've actually heard is that there's a lot of games in production actually put a pause or a hold on their production and actually did a reverse because they want to actually implement NFT technology. So like this is all stuff that's happening like now, they have that feeling that if they came out with their game and if it was missing that aspect, it would be like wasted efforts. So they see what's in front of them, they know what's going to be big in the next like year or two from now. It's time to get on board.
And letting everybody know Matt has an adorable baby daughter, so that's probably what's going on over there. So it's all good.
So yeah, she has a bed frame. It's basically like the outline of a house that goes over her bed, and the wood fell off and hit her head. So that's not good.
Oh no, she okay?
Yeah, she's fine. No cuts, no bumps, but it's not good. So
yeah.
Anyways, right. I wanted to ask something. We have fiat to Starship. We're white labeling your system. It's going to be integrated on that page. We're going to be generating a small commission there that is going to be going towards our liquidity pool, our centralized liquidity pool. But if one of the members of our community wanted to also create a domain name, integrate that payment system, could they do that to generate extra revenue?
Sure could.
Yeah. So how do we set that up? I know you guys are busy, but
you're talking about like an actual referral program, or taking your white label and then like using that.
I mean, taking their white label, setting it up on their own domain name, and then becoming basically affiliates of your software.
Yeah. So this is something we are working on right now. We are putting together a huge affiliate program, and more to that is coming soon. So we're still working out the details, but that is coming.
Yeah, that's coming in the next couple of days. So thank you for that segue, Matt. Well done. Yeah, so
I didn't know
we're
that.
working.
I didn't know that. I was just thinking about it. So,
Well, we're on the same wavelength as usual. So yeah, we wanted to let the Flourishing community know that we are going to implement a referral program. So if you send folks over, they sign up for Flourishing AI, you get paid. And so we'll announce the details of it. We're actually currently setting it up, and I'm going to hat tip Jason for helping me set all of that up. So thank you, my friend. You've been invaluable in sort of guiding us and advising us in that process.
But there's also possibly two parts to this, by the way.
Right.
And I'm going to segue this up.
Yeah,
There's
please.
actually some big FOMO material coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys don't even know it. So the AI team doesn't know about this.
Oh.
Matt might know about it, but I'm going to explain it. But first, there's two things. One is that, yes, you guys are, what we're talking about now is just a referral program for end users, right? But you guys are also having it so that if projects are getting onboarded, actual projects like Starship, that's a second aspect. So it's B2B and B2C, right? So the B2C part, I don't want to talk or say that you guys are having an affiliate program for that, maybe. But if you do, ready for it? This is the highlight right here.
Mm-hmm.
So Matt, Starship, and a lot of people still don't know about this, but when they launched their NFTs on Wax, so Wax platform, which I think now is like $500 million market cap, but it gets up there, it's growing. Deploy Starship, like killed their servers, literally dead.
Yeah.
You guys, you knocked them out,
Mm-hmm.
like, and they weren't expecting it. All the resources were just dead, and it was the only project that did that, from my
yeah,
understanding.
I mean, we had a lot of influencers focused in on this one landing page on Atomica, and we blew it up. I mean, you couldn't click anything for like 4 hours. So,
but so what I'm
can
getting
see
at
it based
is that
on the
Wax,
interest, yeah.
Wax is actually, you guys are like in contact with Wax, so that the moment you guys do actually release more NFTs, it's like, yo, you have to tell them we're about to do this, like increase your bandwidth or whatever, and like actually get ready for this. So
yeah.
What I'm proposing though is that, again, just in a basic relationship, you guys have your connections. So Matt, you have your connections with Wax, but then as discussed earlier when you had left, Sexy Finance, you guys are onboarding other projects as well. So there's a correlation there. But Wax in particular is a very big project, and it's always growing because of these NFTs and these games. So perhaps we could get Wax onto upLink, because I also know Kyanite, which is part of Starship, requires Wax to get that token as well. So to onboard a $1 billion market cap project, I think that's some interesting marketing right there. But then for Starship, Treasury, an affiliate program, just making connections. That's it. I can see
so nobody really knows this, but I was actually an early investor in Wax in 2018, and I was a big fan of them back then. I rode that out for quite a while, honestly. And I just new things came up, and all this stuff, and I lost touch with them over the years. But I'm a huge fan of them, honestly.
But with them, their issues is for people. I just seen it time again with Starship. It's the being going out to Binance Smart Chain, but then another part of their game involves Wax, and that alone is also difficult to get.
So let's recap that real quick. So I'm playing. I have to go to PancakeSwap, then I have to come back, and then I need another resource, and now I have to go out to Wax.
Exactly.
See the dilemma here, guys? And so this is for everybody in the Starship communities and the Flourishing AI communities. This is the point, right? What if you've got one place to get both and you keep crunching along? So you combine great quality content with smooth execution like that. Easily one of the top projects on Wax, if not the top project. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I would love to see that. That would be amazing. All we have to do is when people log in, they're able to connect to your wallet. I don't know how that end of things works, but well, I'm sure you'll work it out.
Yeah, different blockchains. So that's going to be an interesting part. Once you guys get off of, or once you expand beyond Binance Smart Chain, that's when I think things will really start to pick up, get into another gear.
Absolutely. So it's Wax. There's a few others, right? We've put out polls as well. Like, what are some of the, sort of blockchains that you'd like us to start to look into? A surprising number actually mentioned Avalanche as well. That's a really interesting community as well. And then the other one that's pretty obvious on the NFT space and gaming space, and again, we have a soft spot for that, and we have a real sort of bent on that as a company, right? The other one that's really interesting is Polygon, right? So I'm seeing a pretty big resurgence in, well, let me not say resurgence, that's the wrong word. I'm seeing a pretty big growth trajectory in both Polygon and Wax for gaming. Massive, in fact.
Yeah.
I see it. Well, the big thing, though, just to reiterate with Wax, that's there's a lot of gamers there. So, I mean,
right,
get that niche solved.
Our people. Killer. Matt, do you want to give us a little bit of a preview of what folks can expect when they play the Starship game? I think you can do it more justice than I can.
So we have actually 2 games. There's Starship NFT, and that's basically a play-to-earn game. You have your spaceships and your space stations. Every spaceship launches from a space station, and every space station is owned by an influencer. So, everybody's invested in this, and, you go out and you mine kyanite. There's actually, every time you mine a planet, which you can also own as an NFT, there's a small chance that you'll receive an NFT from the mining. So we've thought about little things like, let's say Flourishing AI created a Wax NFT. We could hide those inside of planets or whatever. So it's still developing, but we're almost there. I think our next space station launches on Monday, and
Awesome.
Our new update to the front end is going to be pushed by then. So it's mobile compatible and also your desktop compatible. So. But the new push comes like on Monday, so it's going to be pretty big. And I know the community's been waiting on that.
That's awesome. What time on Monday? Do you have a specific time we can go check it out?
How about you guys check it out on Tuesday? Because every time I give an exact time from developers, it's always wrong. So
We'll keep everybody updated. What's interesting enough, though, because I just know part of this, the Starship aspect, when it comes down to marketing, how else can Matt, you literally have like the all-stars of crypto in Starship, but it's like you didn't push the button yet. Right?
Yeah, we haven't started it. You can't market something, that doesn't really, exist 100%. Like we have the foundation, we have the contracts in place, we have the team, the community. As soon as these updates are launched and, we get the green light from the developers and they say it's good to go, we turn on the marketing button and we hit the pavement. So
yeah, but marketing, come on, you've got BitBoy, right?
Yeah.
You have Crypto Stash, you have
allkpop.com. They have 10 million users a month. I think that one might be our biggest partner.
You just signed up. So TCG World, did they get theirs, or that's happening?
Theirs hasn't launched yet. There's quite a few that hasn't launched. There's the top holder of Alien Worlds. They have, I think, 500,000 users, but he's the top landowner in Alien Worlds. He owns a space station. They're branding it as an Alien Worlds space station. He has approval from the top people over there. So yeah, there's some big names. We'll see what happens. Crypto, I feel like, has been through so much hype, so much excitement. The people, they just don't get too excited about it like they used to, So.
Well, I think it's a different segment. It goes in those different waves. But I think once the game is, again, you're waiting for the moment for the game to actually be properly playable. So.
Yeah, and what I mean by that is more so like the investors are they're evolving. So we're dealing with a different type of investor than we were in February 2021. So
yeah,
you could have an influencer tweet
good projects. That's what it is. They're tired of all these scam and meme pumps and all that other stuff. They want legitimate projects.
Yeah.
Real productivity, real working product.
So,
Yeah.
but what I'm getting at though, it's literally I think you could just push that button once everything is ready. But
Mhm.
there's synergy here. So K-pop,
Yeah.
Totally.
Jason, you have a space station too.
yeah, we keep
Don't
saying that.
forget-
I got to see it though.
It's gonna be launching here. So
We're not ready for that yet either. We gotta get ready to push that button. I'm ready. All right, but we got uplink that's live. Portfolio management's live. Starship is again, it's playable. It's live. You guys are just updating some other
An open
aspects of
beta.
that, along with the universe game also, which then adds on to that, which is big in itself.
we're adding
Right.
20 more people to the universe game. That game, you guys might appreciate it. I mean, it took 2 to 3 years for them to develop. I mean, it was in development before Starship even existed. So, and we were able to lock arms with them. So that one should release very soon.
Yeah, I think Saint and Will, I think they would actually get along pretty well. I mean, those you guys actually that's a bad idea because then they would never get work done. They're going to be playing.
That is a risk with us for sure.
Yeah, can't have a.
When
All
we
right,
launched, no,
Sorry,
go ahead. We'll end it here. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, just want to be cognizant of the time. So today we did the live. So the buyback and the burn happened. I could actually take the BS scan link. I can put that in the description as well. You can share it. I'm excited to actually see what the portal looks like for the Starship uplink version.
It's gonna look
So you guys
awesome.
are saying within days. I want to see this when it gets up, and then we got to get this referral system out. So you guys can also sign up for the sexy finance referral too. Get that under your belt.
Make sure you drop it in the descriptions, Jason.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have mine, but I'm saying for the team, they could do that as well. I think that's good for projects to actually have it to build up their own treasury system, right?
You could use the revenue generated from that for more buybacks and burns.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
And that's the plan.
Yep.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining. Let's get to work. It's Friday. Enjoy the weekend. Will crypto market talk next week.
Got it.
Let's see how on point we are again because you've been killing it nonstop.
You guys enjoying my
Damn
trades?
right.
Yeah. So Matt,
They're always
Will and I
hitting.
we do crypto talk. Will has been on point literally every single time live since we started this damn thing.
I love it. I
Matt's
need
a
to
good
check it
trader as
out.
well.
Awesome.
So,
It's
Thank
it's
you,
some
guys.
great wisdom there. So go check out Market Talk. Go play Starship. Go have a great weekend. Thanks, you guys.
all right. Bye.